Hi, everyone. It's Rebecca Imholz at the Mount Pleasant Chamber of Commerce. I want to welcome you to Monday with the Mayor here on a 3:30 on a Monday, a very fall Monday. I hope everyone took advantage of a nice, cool weekend. I hope you were able to as well. Shane Griffin, the president of the Mount Pleasant Chamber of Commerce. Hard to believe we're in October now.
Yeah, it is. It's funny. I say this a lot that days seem to drag on, but the time flies. So I don't know what to make of that, but yeah, it's been nice weather-wise, and it was a good weekend. I hope the same with you, Rebecca. You were able to get some rest, possibly, or just kind of hang out and take it easy. So that's.
I enjoyed the fall weather. I was outside, so enjoyed that.
Excellent. That's awesome. Well, thanks to you, Rebecca, for all that you do for the organization. We're grateful for your hard work, and thanks for helping us put together Monday with the Mayor here today. The Mayor is going to be joining us in just a few moments. They've had a very busy day over at Town Hall today with multiple back-to-back committee meetings. We do have Lauren Sims on with us from the town of Mount Pleasant. Hey there, Lauren. How are you?
Hi, I'm great. How are you?
Everything is good here. As I mentioned, the Mayor may be joining us, as a matter of fact, right now. Hey, Mr. Mayor.
That was a heck of an intro.
Mr. Mayor, how are you, sir? You're on mute, if you can hear me. Oh. As I said, there he is. Multiple committee meetings back to back to back. We thank you, sir, for you making time. And I know it's been a very hectic day. Hopefully you had a very good weekend and back to the grind here today on Monday.
Sure, I did. Thanks. It's good to be here. And I'm sorry, I know y'all are already Zooming, but they just had a very important thing in a committee, and I ran up right after that was kind of resolved. So I apologize.
No problem. We thank you very much for your time. I want to kind of get started with the governor lifting the occupancy restrictions on restaurants. Both of you can kind of comment on this. I know that it's an interesting decision to make, and it's interesting to see what the restaurants, as far as those decisions go, if they'll lift those restrictions or keep some restrictions in place. Your thoughts on that?
Yeah, from a government standpoint, I mean, the governor issued that order. We all know that once the governor started doing those executive orders, all of these things came under the state's control, and it's not the town. And so that's where we are with that. They can go back to 100%. So if you're in the restaurant business, you probably already know all of that and you're dealing with it. You don't have to worry about the town from that standpoint. From an anecdotal standpoint, people I know in the restaurant business are not necessarily jumping to be the first to do that. So I have seen some that have put up plexiglass between booths and tables and everything, and keeping in mind that we have colder weather coming, so the outside dining may not be quite what it is now, even though we all know around here that there's a lot of outside dining in the winter with outdoor space heaters and all that. So, we as a town have done everything we could from the start to help our restaurants stay afloat. So if you're listening and you're in the restaurant business, everything from the sidewalks to the tents to, for I forget how many months, Lauren, we did away with our plastic packaging requirements. We tried everything we can to be restaurant friendly, and we love you and we depend on you. From this standpoint, we just hope everybody continues. Our numbers are good. They're coming down and they're coming down. And we just hope everybody will keep all the common sense COVID precautions in place, and let's don't end up with another local spike.
Absolutely. Lauren, did you want to add anything to what the mayor had said regarding that?
Yeah, the mayor kind of hit it on the head. I follow a lot of groups that have organized on social media really as a result of COVID and just information sharing. And you're seeing a lot of posts come directly from the restaurants themselves that are saying, we know that this is, allowed now. However, we're still going to be proceeding as we currently are. And there's a few reasons behind that I've seen. One is, the perceived safety. That perception is a big deal, and restaurant owners understand that. And so, they know that if all of a sudden they go back to full capacity, there will be some segment of the population that doesn't feel comfortable coming back in. And So it's worth that to them to continue to hold out at 50%. Some of them mentioned that their own staff members have concerns about going back to 100% occupancy. Excuse me. And then, you know, part of it is unfortunately staffing. You know, they have been operating with a certain staffing level for a period of time now, and to all of a sudden jump and have to add 50% more staff, some of them just aren't in a position to do that just yet. And so I think it's something that, particularly as we close out the year, we'll start to see restaurants kind of ease back into.
Well, let's move on to a topic that we've talked about off and on for the past couple of weeks. We did not have all the data, but my understanding is you have the data now regarding the business licenses, and not surprisingly, they are lower year over year. But Mr. Mayor, your thoughts on that? Yeah,
and Lauren's got those numbers, and I appreciate it. We knew, and remember, our year, we're talking about from July 1. We're on July 1 to June 30. So we're talking about numbers, and we put off our business license till, was it August 31st? August.
Yes, sir. Mm-hmm.
The months all run into each other. I knew we put it off. I'm sure it was on the 31st. So we are talking about business licenses, and in particular, analyzing new business license applications in the middle of a pandemic. So Lauren's got those numbers. She'll look at them. We are all about business in Mount Pleasant. I think, you know, and I say this every week, the vast majority of my time has been spent with One Region, with this, trying to encourage and listen to and do everything we can to keep businesses going strong through this. We do know one thing: when we were doing our tax millage that we talked about last Monday, we had just done it the previous Friday, that our receipts, we have that 1% local option sales tax. That is only down 2%. So that's a good sign for at least that sector of business, retail, hospitality, all of that. So Lauren will give what our new business license statistics are.
Absolutely. And so what we did is we've actually measured it over the past 3 fiscal years, month by month, to kind of see, you know, is there a natural dip in the cycle throughout the year, anything of that nature. So for July, our yearly numbers go 150, 165, last year at 443, and then this year at 172. I want to pause for a second and mention the reason that last year was so high was because we implemented the short-term rental ordinance. And so there was a rush at the beginning of the fiscal year for everyone to go out and apply for the business license for short-term rentals. And a lot of those didn't even end up pursuing an actual short-term rental, but they wanted to have it on the books just in case. So that's why you see such a dramatic increase for last year. So actually, if you take last year as kind of the outlier out, 150, 165, 172, we are actually doing better in July of this year than we have in 17, 18, and 18, 19. So that's a good sign. And then for August, the numbers are 123, 140, 177 for last year, and this year at 117. So a little bit of a drop, but not terrible, and honestly where I would expect them to be in the middle of a pandemic, as you know, folks are starting to come out of it, schools are starting to get back in session, businesses are starting to feel more comfortable opening up. So I'm actually quite pleased with where those numbers are. Obviously, we'd love to see them even higher, and we're going to be doing everything in our power from the town's perspective to ensure that we get those numbers up and encourage it. And I know Mayor and Council are working on several initiatives. They have been very passionate about making sure for the rest of this year that our efforts are focused on the local economy and supporting local businesses. Just partnered with Low Country Local First for their Buy Local season. So you'll start to see Shop and Dine Local banners go up on Coleman Boulevard, and some of our attention diverted there. So, you know, hopefully we'll continue to see those numbers go up. And Mayor, I know, did a ribbon cutting for a business last week. We've got a few more scheduled for the rest of this month. So we're seeing some positive indicators moving forward into the end of the year.
Yep. And, you know, during the go-go days before this, we had so many ribbon cuttings and with other duties and things, we couldn't necessarily make them all. And a lot of times, and Shane, I've worked with the chamber on this and worked with Lauren. Sometimes what we get is, hey, we are having our ribbon cutting on this day at this time. Well, if we have a meeting here, a committee meeting, or one of the other boards and all that I serve on, I have to be there, I would have to decline. But we are going out of our way in this economy right now to show up at every ribbon cutting and everything we can do to show that we support local business and we want our citizens to do the same.
Well, we certainly appreciate that. I know our members do as well. And as I mentioned to Lauren, we love ribbon cuttings because that's when a business is ramped up, ready to go. They're excited. They're grateful for the opportunity. So yeah, we're excited to hear about upcoming ribbon cuttings. And in this era of COVID, we have to obviously take precautions, but I know the town is doing that. We as the chamber as well, when we do ribbon cuttings, we are looking at our protocols to ensure that everyone is safe and that we're doing it the right way. On that note, Mr. Mayor, I understand that the economic development meeting was today. Anything you can talk about coming out of that?
There was one item on there for an economic development incentive grant. That's an executive session thing by law. And so I'm not sure about the outcome of that. And the other, I had to miss that meeting because I had another duty. But I think they got an overview of what kind of space is available in the town of Mount Pleasant. And that's always good. And I've been reading some national literature that in fact there is a shift in retail and that there will be less pressure on the retail space market, and we may see more space available. We see that around Mount Pleasant. We see more restaurants available. So our job is to not let that space sit there empty. We want to bring in business and industry, and some of it, I've thought a lot of times, and I know it's not locally owned, but Cracker Barrel. What goes in a former Cracker Barrel? The location is great, but it is a Cracker Barrel building. And so we know that our region has the 5 high impact sectors, and 2 of those we're not really going to get per se. We're not going to get aerospace and automotive because we don't have place to do heavy industrial in the town of Mount Pleasant. By the way, I want to mention, I learned last week with the Boeing thing sitting on the Aviation Authority, we're the only county in the nation, Charleston County, that has wide body aircraft final assembly and cars being made in the same county. I did not know that until Thursday. But we are going to, and we started this before COVID, and we've been not distracted, but we've been focused on COVID. And we'll get back to, and are getting back to, the fact that Mount Pleasant is perfectly suited for those other high impact sectors, which is IT, finance, and life science. Anything, medical, life science research. This is where you want to be. We're well suited for that. So we're going to keep our attention on that, and having an inventory of our space helps us know who can come here, where you can go, and how you can provide jobs and start contributing to our local economy.
Well, on that topic, Lauren, October 14th is doing business with the town. There's a event that's happening. Talk a little bit about that, and it kind of dovetails nicely into what the mayor just said.
Yeah, absolutely. So we're very excited. I know Rebecca and Mary Butler from Strategic Partnerships reached out and said that as a result of the survey done of the membership, one of the things that they wanted to know is how to better engage with the town, to do business with the town as a vendor, but also what are some things that they need to know just operating a business day to day in the town. So we've pulled together a great representation of our staff. We've got our CFO, Marcy Kotov, and our business license manager, Melinda Turner, and our procurement guru, our procurement officer, Kathy Frame, and myself. We're all going to be speaking about doing business in the town on October 14th. It's a virtual brown bag lunch, so bring your own lunch, and we're going to be talking about all the great programs that council has initiated, things like the local vendor partnership program, where you apply. It's a very easy process, and when projects come available, when we're looking to do work in the town, we need professional services. That's our go-to list, and they are preferred local vendors, and we're going to go to them first. So that's a very important program that council has initiated and backed, so we'll be talking more about that. We'll be talking about how you can become registered online to be a vendor for the town and be automatically sent our bid notices whenever we're searching for products or professional services, because we are a local government. The way that we procure goods and services is a little bit different. You don't just go out with a credit card and pick one. By law, there's certain parameters that we have to follow. So we'll kind of break down that process. We'll also talk a little bit about business licenses and the various taxes that different businesses have to pay. How are those calculated? What are the funds used for? You hear things like accommodations tax and hospitality tax, and what does all that mean? Where does that money go? What does it fund? We're going to be breaking down all of that. And then my piece will be just talking about the Town Proud program, which is kind of similar to local vendor partnership in that it focuses on our local economy, but it is our certified local program. We do programming and PR outreach specific to those businesses. And so it's a great free program to be a part of. Again, it's a very easy application process. So we'll just be sharing all that information with everyone at 12 o'clock. It's a Microsoft Teams meeting, which is very similar to Zoom, but it is Microsoft Teams since we're running it through the town's IT. So we hope that you'll sign up and spend some time with us on the 14th.
Excellent. And of course, we'll be communicating with you, the membership, in regards to the details of that in some upcoming communication. So be on the lookout for that. We're grateful to the town for giving us the opportunity to kind of be a part of that and give out some very valuable information. One more thing before I let you both go. I know it's a very busy day over at Town Hall, so I'm grateful to you both for your time. Mr. Mayor, the One Region Group meeting is set for later this week, is my understanding. And that
Yes.
time that you'll be planning for the grant funds and what you're going to actually do with that money. Is that right?
Yeah, and we've gone to monthly meetings on that right now. A couple of good things that come out of that. The overarching thing was to get businesses open and stay open in a COVID reality, and we keep working on that. So we do get regional medical, I don't know if advice is the right word, but statistics and best practices and all of that. The other thing we get is regional economic data based on sales tax and accommodations tax and other means for measuring the economy locally, which is usually trending up and good. And then the other was we got that, what did I say last week? Is it I believe it's 400,000 over 2 years grants that we can help local businesses with. And we will be putting more flesh on the bone on that in this meeting on Wednesday. So stay tuned on that. And I will, and keep reminding me, always bring that information back to the Mount Pleasant Chamber of Commerce, because if we can help our businesses and get that here, that's what we want to do.
Absolutely. Well, that's all I have for today. Anything that you wanted to add before we let you go? Back to meetings and business of town?
The planning committee will be looking at something. They're meeting right now. But we have things, like if you're in the restaurant business, about sidewalks and tents outside, and then some schools need tents so they can socially distance and move students outside. We're going to roll all of those things into an ordinance that we will have a reading of at council meeting next Tuesday. So if you're worried about those things, those are being addressed. There will be text amendments to our zoning ordinance so that we can get them taken care of. So that's business and education friendly, and that's something that we're always about.
Well, again, we thank you both for your time today. This has been Monday with the Mayor, presented by the Mount Pleasant Chamber of Commerce. We thank you for tuning in, either live or watching this recording at a later time. Mr. Mayor, Lauren, always great to see you. Thank you again both for your time. I know it's a busy day over at Town Hall, but we thank you for taking the time to be a part of Monday with the Mayor. Remember to stay healthy, be safe, and keep moving forward. We'll see you next week.
See you.
Thank you.
See you later.